Hi, welcome to trying to recreate the success of a previous video. Actually, I was going to do a follow-up video regardless because there are more AI kids books to talk about. The AI children's book Grift is still going strong, but I've got some good news to report. There has been a small victory in the war against AI slop. As of this recording, several of the AI kids books I called out in my previous video have been removed from Amazon. I did it! Actually, those books were removed the day before I uploaded that video, so it didn't have anything to do with me. But I'm taking credit for it anyway! Quick point of clarification before we move forward. I'm gonna use the word author throughout this video to refer to the person who used AI generators to create each book in question, but just know that there are some heavy-duty, industrial-grade quotes around the word author every time I say it. The Amazing Story of Ratatouille. Hey, we got Remy sporting a fresh new hairdo and looking at us with sultry bedroom eyes. Don't love that. It looks like he's doing that flirty finger wiggle thing too. Imagine if you saw a pack of rats and one of them just had a blonde hairdo, and Linguini appears to be morphing into a rat. Maybe this is like a dystopian late-stage capitalism sequel to Ratatouille, where restaurant owners realized it would be more cost-efficient to breed a workforce of human-rat hybrids rather than employ rats and humans separately. Yeah, we're still working at the kinks, but we're getting there. We've also got what looks like the end of a spoon up in the corner here. That's cool. The Amazing Story of Ratatouille, a little rat with a big dream, the Ratatouille's journey revealed, Remy and the mystery of the missing recipe. Wow, 4 titles in one book. What a value. I like that it says the Ratatouille's journey revealed. I guess we get to learn about the story of the Ratatouille dish itself as it makes its way through that food critic's digestive system. Here I go! Get ready to dive into a deliciously fun adventure with Ratatouille, which is my favorite Disney movie. Disney the cartoon guy. There's another Ratatouille book that also has what looks like a human-rat hybrid. Extra disturbing that Remy is standing on 2 feet while the guy is on all 4s. And this book starts off like all the classic children's books do, with a bullet point summary of the characters, like it's a report being turned in at work. Mommy, I would like to see a full rundown of all the characters in this book on my desk by bedtime. This is a great book for any kid, whether they're a newborn or heading off to college. You know, it's a shame they never made Ratatouille sequels, because they could have called them Ratatouille and Ratatouille 3. The best story of Shrek 2, where Shrek is joined by familiar faces, like Donkey, looking just how you remember him. There was that recent uproar about Shrek looking slightly different in the trailer for the new Shrek movie. Imagine if Donkey looked like this in the trailer. There would be riots in the streets. You've heard the story of Kung Fu Panda, but have you heard the true story of Kung Fu Panda? In this true version of the story, Po seems to have a human arm growing out of one leg, and what looks to be a smaller him growing out of his other leg. What if that happened to you in real life? Your doctor is like, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's a tiny you growing out of you. We've got Inside Out with all the core emotions. Joy with glasses, existential dread. This emotion is when a stranger says something to you and it catches you off guard and you go, That's what this emotion is. And of course, ninja, because deep down at the core of the human experience, we all just want to do some cool flips and slice a guy in half with a katana. This emotion is, did you just fart? This is one of those emotions that you don't know how to describe. I feel like I should be doing something, but like I don't exactly know what. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. The best story of the 7th dwarf. I know the term nightmare fuel gets tossed around a lot, but truly, imagine being a kid and staring at this cover while your parent is reading to you in bed. And then the little dwarf wandered into the enchanted forest, where he was greeted by a great book to give your kid if you hate them. I don't know what's going on with this author and the word illustrated, but he cannot seem to wrap his head around how to spell it. Illusted. No, that's not it. Illustered. Okay, 1 letter closer, but still not right. Illustisted. Where did that I and S come from? Illustersted. Getting warmer. Illustrated. Hey, you got it. Oh no, but now the word of is messed up. Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, words don't have numbers in them. This guy types the word illustrated the way SpongeBob walks when his shoes are untied. I'm ready. It doesn't matter though. When you're this handsome, you don't need to know how to spell. I don't know how these authors get away with such blatant copyright infringement. Maybe the characters are so mutated from their original designs that it's legally permissible. Maybe that holds up in court. Your Honor, this isn't Olaf. Olaf doesn't have antlers and legs, and there aren't 9 of him. And this isn't Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Factory. It's about the factory where they make chocolate factories. The factory tour is just showing really boring industrial equipment. We don't have Willy Wonka Milka here. We have Wilson Woodworth, Director of Operations. And we don't have tiny red Oompa Loompas, but we do have Todd. He's kinda short, and he's always red because of his alcoholism. And if you think this cover is lazy, just you wait. Because the whole 157 pages of this book are a 10-paragraph summary of the film version, repeated over and over, literally copy-pasted to make it book length. The air hung thick with the scent of melting chocolate. The air hung thick with the scent of melting chocolate. The air hung thick with the scent of melting chocolate. The air hung thick with the scent of melting chocolate. In fact, the synopsis on the Amazon page is literally half of all the content in the book. It actually confused me when I found AI books this bad, because I thought, what is even the grift here? When a book is this egregiously terrible, how would you make money? Wouldn't customers who bought it immediately see how bad it was and then return it and just get a refund? Well, maybe not, because I found a review on one book that says, terrible AI generated crap, and Amazon won't offer a refund. So I don't know, maybe it's not always easy to get refunds on these things, and that's what these authors are banking on. In my last video, I showed some AI-generated Mr. Beast poetry books, and as I looked more into it, I discovered that some of the same rhyming themes pop up in other AI books. Like the AI has some limited stock of poetry ideas that it pulls from. It likes to talk about how kindness meets and the qualities of someone's heart. In a land so sweet, where kindness did meet, lived Mr. Beast with a heart so neat. It builds a path that's soft and sweet, where love and kindness always meet. In a kingdom vast, where power did reign, I was a queen with a heart so brave and sane. That last one sounds a little misogynistic, to talk about being sane like it's a distinctive quality in a woman. Oh, my queen, you are truly the least insane woman in all the land. Of all the hysterical banshees, you are the most tolerable. The Great Underwater Treasure Hunt is a rhyming book about a group of kids who somehow go deep underwater to find a hidden treasure. Dive into adventure with The Great Underwater Treasure Hunt from Ankith Hardigary, author of other kids' classics like Monthly Bill Payment Tracker. A treasure map, old and frayed, he found in his grandfather's chest. He played. His grandfather believed in what lay below, a treasure hidden where only seagulls go. Does his grandfather know what seagulls are? Yeah, just because they're called seagulls doesn't mean they live in the sea. Billy, there's a hidden treasure, but it's in a place where only seagulls go. The sky? The ocean. Then again, these kids go underwater with no equipment, so maybe everything in this world can breathe underwater. The moral of the book is that the kids discover that the real treasure was the friends they made along the way. Literally. The book doesn't make much sense from the sample pages, and apparently it's not much better even when you have the full book. The story is about some friends trying to find underwater treasure, but that's about all it tells you. There's no detail about how they start their adventure, how they get underwater, or what they find in the ocean. Disappointing and confusing. Kinda sums up AI as a whole, doesn't it? The amazing first day of preschool. In a place where fun begins each day, with games to play and songs to say. We don't sing songs at this school, we say them. Ready, children? The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. You'll find new friends with smiles so bright. In preschool, everything's just right. Yes, in preschool, nobody has a face, just the way it's supposed to be. Oh no, this girl does have a face! How embarrassing!
Tina has a face, Tina has a face.
We separate the strong from the weak by forcing the kids to slide into a pool of water to get out of the building. If you can't swim, you aren't cut out to be at this preschool. Drowners are losers. Real talk though, it would actually be awesome if you got to exit preschool by going down a slide. Stinky Farm. Ooh, this must be where stink is made. Dive into the delightful world of Stinky Farm by Ryan Miller. This book does this thing some kids' books do where there's only text every couple of pages with just pictures on the pages in between. But the pictures in this book are so strange that it feels eerie. In a small town, there was a large farm that everyone called the Stinky Farm. Near the Stinky Farm lived a boy named Ryan. He loved watching the Stinky Farm's activity every morning. He thought he was lucky to live near such an awesome farm. Look at the animals on the front cover compared to the ones inside the book. They start off with these expressive faces, and then they transform into these soulless husks of what they once were. There's even one sheep that's breaking the fourth wall and looking at you, like it wants you to save it from this nightmare book that it's trapped in. Please, Help. School was a different story. Ryan heard whispers and giggles. Ew, that's Ryan from the Stinky Farm, she said, rather stinkily herself. I was gonna say maybe his classmates are being too hard on him, but this kid stinks so much that even his thoughts smell bad. I like that the tagline for this book is, "What's that smell?" As if anyone near this farm would have to ask that. Hey, what's that smell? Are you serious? Have you looked out the window? There's a cloud of stink engulfing our town. Artwork is done on a computer and animals' faces are messed up as if done by bad AI. Writing is plain. I can't believe someone left a 1-star review for this book and didn't say, "This book stinks." Hey, by the way, when did we as a society decide that green clouds were the visual representation of stink? Where did that start? Like if I gave you some crayons and said, draw a stinky person, you would be going for that green crayon and drawing some clouds. And I'm not saying that's wrong or we should choose a different color, but like, where did that start? The Spirit of Billy Bear. Why does this cover look like the end of a book? There's a bear sailing off into the distance away from the two kids who are looking at each other like they just shared some magical adventure together. What if you started reading the book and the first page was like, "From that moment on, Tom and Sarah would be bonded forever by that unforgettable summer when they were visited by the spirit of Billy Bear. The end. Thanks for the $5. Is this supposed to be the spirit of Billy Bear? Because he's not a ghostly apparition like you'd expect from a spirit. Is this just a regular bear that ended up in a canoe? There's also plenty of soccer coloring books on Amazon with some of the worst players I've ever seen. Oops, missed the ball. Ooh, almost kicked it. Oop, little too high. Oop, not quite. Oh, come on, there's 2 balls. You missed them both. Hey, I think the ball's behind you, bud. Oh, well, don't run away from the ball. I don't know much about soccer, but I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to hold the ball. And as if they weren't bad enough already, some of these kids appear to have pretty serious disfigurements that would make playing soccer difficult. I'm just saying, I've never seen any one-legged soccer players in the major leagues. I think this is the early years of Sloth from the Goonies.
Hi, Mom! Hello! Oh no, we forgot to bring a soccer ball to practice.
Don't worry, guys, we can use my face.
Hey, put me down!
This kid looks like he's trying to flip us off, but his middle finger deflated. Hey, losers! Perfect Christmas Eve. Wow, the economy's so bad, even Santa's reindeer are being laid off. He's only got 2 left. This one isn't even pulling the sleigh. I guess it's a spare reindeer? For some reason, this book is about the story of Santa and Jesus. Jeez, does she have a freaking donkey under that blanket? That ass. Did you know in the old days, they had to use fire to perform circumcisions? Jurassic Junior Investigators. Based on the title, I thought this was gonna be about a group of kids investigating dinosaur-related mysteries, but it's actually one kid and one frighteningly realistic T-Rex.
I think this might be our next clue. What do you think, T-Rex?
Okay, my book is almost ready to publish on Amazon. I've got my AI-generated cover art, and the book is about compassion, perseverance, and extraordinary transformation. What should the title be? Ah, I've got it! Golden Poo Poo. That'll do it. This book is about a young girl whose life is changed when an unexpected miracle emerges from the humblest of places. A cow's butt. Dive into this enchanting story to discover how one girl's light can shine through even the darkest moments. Not sure I can buy that this book had an editor. Hey, so do you have any notes on my book? Yeah, it's called Golden Poo Poo. Change the title. It is impossible. A hippo in a tutu? No, it is impossible. Impossible, I say! Yeah, some authors are clever enough to try and incorporate the weirdness of the art into the concept of the book. It's like, yeah, the dolphin has 4 flippers. That's the point. It's impossible. I'm gonna make an AI book called Bunch of Weird Shit for kids. Some authors don't even go to the trouble of learning how to make the AI art generators retain a consistent art style and character design. So each picture is a totally different rendition of the same story, and it can really change the vibe. This looks like a cute robot that could be your friend. This looks like a playground robot overlord that would crush you for not sharing your toys with the other kids. In my last video, I talked about a book called Timmy's Time Travel. Well, if the idea of time travel is just too exciting for you, we've also got Timmy's Time Management Adventure. This is Timmy. He loved to play, but he didn't like to clean up. And Timmy's mother was afraid to tell him to clean up because he always had a sword on him, and he wasn't afraid to use it.
I will cut a bitch!
The wildest thing about this book isn't that the art style completely changes from one page to the next, or that Timmy's design changes so much from page to page that at one point he looks like an anthropomorphic animal, but that in one panel a big blue creature randomly appears at the kitchen table and it goes completely unaddressed. And another end of a spoon. That's not the only other Timmy book. Timmy is actually a whole genre of children's books. Timmy's Stroke of Whimsical Delight, Timmy and Tiny Pooh. Tiny, that thing is half of Timmy's size. Timmy's on Time. Oh cool, no need for a story then. The Adventures of Timmy and the Talking Tree. Oh my god, what's wrong with this tree? Timmy Tablet and the Ghost of Screen Time. Timmy's Big Mission. The Magical Footsteps of Timmy. Timmy the Termite Carpenter. Timmy's Beard. Timmy's Big Jump. Oh no, Timmy, don't jump! You have so much to live for! Think of Tiny Pooh! This book has the most confusing start. You look at the cover and you're like, okay, I guess this book is gonna be about this young boy named Timmy. Timmy's first jump. Oh, I guess Timmy is a rabbit? Timmy was a little frog. Okay, what is the Timmy situation here? Is everyone in this book named Timmy? The Kindness Parade. Kind hands reach out, set the dolphin free. With smiles on their faces, they dance in glee. What is she doing? Pulling the dolphin out onto land? You don't have to be trapped in the ocean anymore! The dolphin is just on the ground roasting in the sun. She's pulling dolphins out of the ocean and throwing seagulls into the ocean. You belong in the sea. All aboard the nightmare train. Once you get on, you can never get off. I don't know what this train's destination is, but hopefully it's heading straight into a volcano. Though I have to admit, as disturbing as this is, still not as disturbing as the Polar Express. I want to be a pilot. Ever since Alex can remember, there has been nothing more exciting than watching the big airplanes take off into the clouds. Hey, the plane is over there, dumbass. How to grab snowman. At last, the answer will be revealed. Lila's first word. I'm assuming it was The Tale of the Little Green Man. Little Green Man. At least make the book title match the cover. You may as well call this The Big Blue Bus. Dinosaur coloring book. It is the perfect educational tool. Educational. From Scaredy Child to Brave King Kid. By my favorite author, Inspiring Tales Daniel. How the Bear Armed Himself with Love. Who Am I? Savannah edition. I think what am I is the more pressing question here. Also, nobody on this cover is happy. And you know what? As bad as these AI generated books are, there's also a ton of non-AI generated children's books on Amazon too. And if you can believe it, some of those books are arguably worse than the AI generated ones, but I'll save that for a future video. Hey, if you like this video, check out this one. We don't sing songs at this school, we say them. Singing is a sin.